Okay, I'm back. You'll be on, by the time you see this, you'll be on the course website. Please be sure to carefully read all of the course outline information and the section called must read information. Read that stuff carefully at least a couple of times because it'll orient you to what's going on in the course so you don't feel like you're kind of drifting around. I have to apologize for Moodle Navigation. It sucks. I've been on this course quite a lot for the last month that we designed it, and I still get lost. There's nothing I or Deanne, the designer, can do about it. It's built into the Moodle platform, and I think the navigation they've come up with is just horrible. So if you get lost, go up to the top to the breadcrumb trail, click on the course, and go back to kind of the ground, the foundation of it. And little by little, you'll figure it out. The photographs on the course are mine. They're from my various trips into wilderness solitude. I spend between 3 and 4 weeks every year alone in the wilderness still. And if you right-click on the photos, they expand, and I think you'll enjoy looking at them in the larger format. One of the things to pay attention to when we're looking at worldviews, you'll read the Ertz article, and they present worldviews as a conceptual construct. And that's one way of looking at a worldview. Another way of looking at a worldview is that it's more than just our conceptualization of the world. It's everything we experience. So absolutely everything, exactly as we experience, the stuff that's beyond the conceptual, all of that is our worldview. And then on top of that, we can create a conceptualization of our experience, and that's also called a worldview. So just keep in mind those two different definitions as you go along. Okay, conference calls and assignment due dates. And don't freak out if you don't understand this really clearly as I talk, because in each team, I'll post the information individually. The weeks for the different team in the course, the official weeks, are different. They begin for each team 4 days before your conference call, and they end 3 days after your conference call. So this gives you 4 days to read the material and to start your discussions on Moodle before we get together for the conference call. And it gives you 3 days after the conference call to complete your assignment for that week. Because of this, there's a little bit of odd jiggering at the beginning of the course and at the end of the course. Some teams have a little bit longer before their first assignment is due at the beginning, and some have some extra time after the final conference call at the end before the course is due. And I just haven't figured any way out around this. So I'll clarify that in a post to each individual's team discussion forum. When you do the conference calls, please use earbuds so that you don't have a speaker feeding back into your microphone. Also, please find a quiet place to participate in the conference call so there's not a bunch of background noise. Don't do it in a coffee shop or a noisy office, okay? Because it's just really distracting for everybody else. Here's a hokey request. I have a horrible memory. I've met some of you briefly. I haven't met a lot of you. The people in the MEEC program already know each other. For those of you that aren't in the MEEC program, you don't know the MEEC students. So please, for the conference calls, at least for the beginning ones, please wear or pin to yourself a name tag, a large name tag that I can read so I know who I'm talking to. Because I have a really bad memory for names, and I don't want to not be connecting who I see in the conference calls with the names I have on the list and stuff. So I'll really appreciate it if you'll print your name in bold letters with a felt tip pen and put it so it's clearly visible in the field of vision of the conference calls. Thank you. I know it seems hokey, but I'll really appreciate it. For the conference calls, each of you should bring at least one juicy question for all of us to discuss together. Not that any of us will necessarily have answers, but it will deepen our conversations if you come with something you're really curious about to pose. All the resources. How much time? Okay, I have to hurry a little bit. As you'll see, and as I mentioned already in the email I sent out, there's a huge number of resources. I myself haven't read all the additional resources, but some of them just twigged my interest. They're long, and I thought that you might like to just have them in your files for the future in case you continue to do work in your theses or in other future work in this domain. So that's why I've included so many in there, but I don't expect you to read them all. Please do try to cover the assigned resources, though. If you have questions you think are relevant to the whole class, please post them to the Instructor News and Updates forum. If you have specific questions for me, you have my email, and you can email me at any time, and I'll be glad to respond. I think that's mostly what I wanted to say. So again, welcome to the course. I look forward to seeing you in the discussion forums of your team on the Moodle site, and to seeing you in the conference calls each week. Take care, and I hope you really enjoy the course. I hope I enjoy the course too. Bye.